Okay.
Wow.
Open up our December 8th, yeah, I can hear the feedback, 2025 Select Board Budget Workshop. Everybody had a chance to review what Ellen had sent over from our last meeting. I think a couple of things we wanted to address, and Ms. Phillips, thank you for coming. I think we'll let you speak first, that way there you could get back onto your evening. But two of the bigger items, we're thinking about the warrant articles for next year regarding the paving of the library parking lot, as well as our paving and road repair warrant article, and coming up with estimates for those, so that at least on Thursday, you've got some numbers to work with, Charlotte, if you're able to make it to the meeting and speak.
I think that's the plan. Whether or not she'll be able to talk is the other question.
Right.
A blessing,
I'll be there to support.
as she always is.
I brought show and tell.
Oh, good, thank you,
Thank you.
Show and tell is great.
thank you. Oh, this is great.
Thank you.
I guess the question I have is, what questions do you have for me? I wasn't able to really gather what had been discussed at the last meeting because of the audio issues.
Right.
But I'm here to answer anything I can. I know that we've got a lot of kind of balls in the air with this. I still have not met with Steve. He's been a little busy removing snow. And we have, Dan and I will be meeting with an electrician on Wednesday to find out, to get a better understanding and sense of what lighting means. Because the 20K for the lighting is just an estimate. And the vast majority of that is the electrician work. You know, digging trenches, laying the conduit, electrician's time. It's not the lights themselves. Lights themselves are not that horrifically expensive. That being said, everything is going up in price. We did receive a budgetary proposal last July from Cobalt Construction. So the numbers that we included are actually numbers from a construction company. So that was kind of another question I think that was up in the air. And I guess I'll just kind of pause right now to see if anyone has any questions about this. So what I have given you is kind of a corner of the survey that was done 2 years ago in 2023 in November. So things like the flagpole and the war memorial are not in the right spot because those have since been moved. And the new leach field is not on here because that's happened since. You'll see that there's kind of a blue parallelogram on the left-hand side of this drawing. That is the old police station property. The yellow outline is the current dirt lot. Above that blue border is library property. The parallelogram is town property, which I know for tax purposes it doesn't matter. Really, the only time you kind of get into questions about this, and I'm trying to do what we have not generally done, and that is think 10, 20 years down the line when we're all gone, and someone has a question about, well, you know, why is the parking lot shaped like this? And they go and pull it up, and it had been a municipal lot, and the library's like, well, why are you taking away that lot that's on our property? And it just trying to get these questions of ownership straight before we do anything actually does make sense. So one of the other concerns that I have is that upper corner of the existing parking lot is really close to the property line. That's about 14 inches. So I'm not sure how we're going to install lighting on that side because of how close the property boundary is.
I know none of this really has answered any of your questions about the cost, but these are all things that are kind of swirling when we talk about this. It's not a simple matter of removing what's there and putting a new lot down.
So can it go to the left some?
I don't know. That would be my hope. But again, you know, I'm not an engineer. I guess this is, you know, the question I have is one of the things that we're trying to do to reduce the cost is to see what the town can do rather than paying a construction company to come in. Do we have the internal expertise to look at the lot and say, okay, if we shift it and we put a French drain in and that gets rid of the water problem, it won't affect the abutter? Like, do we have that expertise in-house? Because that's where we kind of get into this, you know, having someone come from outside and do it. Since it's not just go in, rip off the top, it's delaminating. I don't know if you've been there recently, but we've now got a hole that's spreading across 3 different spots, 3 different parking spots. So it's not a matter of just removing that and putting a new one on. Do we have the expertise in-house?
I would like to think we did, but
Yeah, I would like to think so too, and if it's not, I think that would be like a small piece that we could subcontract out. We might need to get a wetland scientist involved or some type
somebody
of
like to
environmental
anticipate
engineer.
putting that.
We are going to talk to the electrician about that, because again, we don't want just one big one shining. We've got residential abutters on both sides.
Right.
And we don't want to have like stadium lighting that disrupts them. You know, just having used parking lots, I would think that 2 on one side, 2 on the other side, and then maybe 2 on the lower lot. If they're lower, if they're shorter poles so that we don't have that light pollution,
Something like
would
at the
probably,
school,
pardon me?
something like at the school parking lot?
I have not stared at the school parking lot lighting.
What she's thinking.
Are they, I thought they were kinda,
They're pretty tall, I think.
I think we were
So to do
looking
that
at,
dark sky
yeah.
thing, right, yeah.
Yeah, like 8-foot pole, like something fairly short.
Yeah.
oh, that's
8-foot
really short.
Yeah, just to really illuminate
That's-
the,
to illuminate the lot.
Right.
Mhm.
And it don't
Yeah.
need to be, it can be on time or shut off when the library's not running.
And that's, we would like energy efficient ones, LED
Like
bulbs, like the whole,
Mhm.
the thing that we always talk about, like the most energy efficient possible. Those would go into the library. I'm assuming that that's where the switches would be. My current thought would be to have 2 separate circuits so that the municipal lot can be lit longer if necessary for, you know, in the summer when there are games or whatnot. But who knows? If that's a huge expense, nope, put it all in one circuit. Like we don't know until we ask these questions.
and you've abandoned the idea of a horseshoe, right?
The trustees have talked about this. A horseshoe design takes us to another level of expense and complexity. Because you are changing the traffic pattern off of a state road, right off the bat, you've got to get the state involved. You would need significant engineering in order to get an appropriate turning radius. After looking at even just very short mock-up designs, because of the way that that would have to come around, we would only be gaining at max 4 to 6 new spots. And when all of that, oh, and we haven't even got into the well issue. There are ways that we could mitigate runoff, yes. But we are not supposed to build anything permanent, new, in the sanitation radius around the wellhead. And that's supposed to be 75 feet, and we are already, the existing parking lot is already within a 50-foot. So, and then of course, we also have the emergency exit route that we need to keep clear. It just got too complex. And, you know, if we're trying to control cost, which I understand is a driving factor that we all have to think of, this is the lower cost alternative, getting the 2 lots paved. Doing the horseshoe design, honestly, that corner drives me nuts. When the police put the speed thing there, I just sat and watched it for 10 minutes one day. Nobody comes around that corner at 30. Nobody.
It's a dangerous corner. If the parking lot, if the parking lot was able to be moved a bit to the left, would we be able to slightly alter the entry and exit, or would that also involve the
No,
future DOT?
I think that once well, I don't know. I think that would be a question worth asking, because you're not changing the pattern that way. I don't know if you've seen the entrance lately, but it's kind of on the edges. It's getting narrower and narrower anyway, because of the way it's been worn off on the sides. So I don't really know the answer to that question.
As we're looking at this diagram now, I mean, the further it can be moved to the left, the more of a sight line you start to, not that it's a
Yeah.
lot around that corner, but
Yeah.
anything might help a bit.
Ellen has your drawing. I give it to her.
Okay.
She's
I
hoarding
didn't
it.
draw on it.
She's hoarding it.
Looks pretty similar to the one you had before.
So I guess the big question I guess I have is that we're trying to put together a warrant article potentially for 2026 for the voters, and my concern is that we don't have enough answers to put together a warrant article.
I mean, we have a quote. We have a quote from a professional construction management company, which is where we got our numbers. What we don't have is a solid understanding of how much of this can be completely or in part or whatever replaced by our in-house. Like, I don't know if,
Or even where it will
Yeah.
go though. I mean, like to Charlotte's point, we need to figure out where it can go. So you've got something to present to the voters as far as this is the definite spot where this lot's going to be.
And how much was the quote from Cobalt?
the quote from Cobalt was 58,700 and then another 20
added
for
the
the
20 for the
lighting.
lighting.
Right, so that totals to 78,700,
Mhm,
which is in the CIP.
mhm. And as I mentioned, we will be talking to an electrician to see if we can figure out a way to get those numbers for the lighting down. I mean,
And that's for
We're-
both lots?
yes, that would be for both lots.
And that's
Which
the
is-
paving for both lots.
And this is the paving for both lots, yes.
We just did the main
Yeah.
lot this year.
Yep.
How much money could we cut that down?
Well, the question then becomes, do you want the conduit and everything run for the lighting for the lower lot? Or like, do you wanna prep it as though it will be done, or like, these are all.
I would.
Yes, I would too, but these are the types of questions that, I mean, that would be my preference and I wanna be clear that I have not run this by the other trustees and that I am one of 5 and that I don't speak for all of them until they vote and tell me that I can speak for all of them. But that would, if that is what we have to do, then that's what we have to do. I've always thought that as long as you're hauling out the blacktop and everything, that it's probably economies of scale just mean that you've got the truck out there, right? That costs money to roll the
Most
truck.
of the cost is bringing the equipment to the site.
Right.
The asphalt's not that expensive.
Exactly.
Which we do every year.
Yeah.
We got equipment on site in Nottingham every year.
Correct. And I think the conduit, you could probably have it very easy, it's gonna be two directional, so they could have a knockout on whatever terminal is going out. So we don't have to actually run conduit to the lower lot, it would just be, we're gonna look to do this in a year or two, make sure that there is a feed and that it's built appropriately to go to this lower lot. That could potentially give the highway department a year to properly prep the grade down there, so I probably missed the part where there's no way to make this a U shape, it's gotta just be the
I
upper.
asked for you.
Yeah. We would love to do that, but it's just, if you think this is expensive, I mean, that's gonna be a lot more. Cause again, as I stated earlier, you're involving the state, you need more engineering. We would have to figure out what to do to keep the water away from the wellhead. Because we literally cannot afford to fail our water tests. That happened once last year and it took us hundreds of dollars and then thousands of dollars to fix the problem. Like, I don't wanna do that.
It's just such a dangerous blind turn.
I-
If anything, maybe just some vegetation cut on the corner.
I was gonna say, you could cut that vegetation, improve your visibility a lot,
We also,
That's,
and that's all state
we
property.
also talked about, as you look at this, because it's, what is it, 14 inches, you said,
Yeah,
from the lot line up here? If this all could be moved a bit,
Yeah, but
and
that ain't
every
gonna
little
gain
bit
you.
that, you know,
Right.
would
you actually
move the
lose
sight
space.
line.
I mean,
Lose
this,
3%.
this part here, the entrance to 152, it's like your driveway, it's set by the state, it's set by the town, so it doesn't matter if you move the parking lot. The in and out of the parking lot is,
It has to stay
Is
the same,
the
oh,
in
that
and
was our
out.
question.
Which is,
Okay.
I mean, so that's why I'm
Moved
not
a few feet, okay.
concerned so much with the
Good to
state,
know.
because we have two in and outs right now. If we
Right.
went to a horseshoe shape, it's
Ex-
gonna actually be
the same.
the same or less.
but even if you're not concerned about the state, which I think it just adds time and complexity, even if they're okay with
Yes,
that.
that-
You still have the issue of needing a adequate turning radius, which means more engineering, and that is what costs money.
Right.
And
And
it would, we would have to push the parking lot closer to the library, which gets in the sanitation radius of the wellhead. We would have to mitigate the water. It's a lot. It is a lot more to do a horseshoe shape than just paving the two lots. And I am completely in agreement with you that that is a nightmare corner.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
like it.
you encounter it more than I do, but the few times that even I'm there and trying to get out. But I think if we tried to focus on an upper lot, and then potentially if we build and secure firmer footing, Steve said that we needed to rebuild the lower, I think
Yeah, it's just all sandy fill or,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
bank run that's been thrown in there.
But then I feel like on the second one, we could potentially then finish the shape going down to it, if it came to that, you know what I mean? Like phase one is just paving it and making whatever. Phase two, if you connect through, I don't think this shape really becomes that different from what I saw before. I know the big thing is there's a flagpole and a memorial there that would have to be moved.
The flagpole and
Pretty gone.
memorial were
Already
both,
removed.
Oh, that's right.
those were moved and we moved them as if, or as though, there would eventually be a horseshoe shape.
Oh, it's
We were
two-
very
two
deliberate
trees.
about where
That's
we
what it is.
selected to place those items so that it wouldn't be that.
An issue.
So what if it was more shaped like this? If you have this space, and then that would give you more buffer between the well. So you basically kind of flip the rectangle.
I mean, we would have to hear more from Steve, I think, cause that would be right on top of the leach field.
Oh, shoot, that's right too, that's where that went.
But I thought our
But he-
design.
We did, yeah, he
Yeah.
designed it so that it could be.
Our design is drivable. It doesn't matter if you're driving or parking it.
But you wouldn't
Chambers.
pave on top of it though.
No, you
Yeah,
can't.
you can,
You can.
Yeah, yeah.
it's a chamber system.
Right.
Yeah, it's really not a leach field like you think. It's a couple of, it's tanks and,
It's not fun if you gotta dig it up.
Right.
No, cause.
To
it's
give you
just-
I understand, like where it says Blaisdell Memorial Library sign on 4x4 posts, that's where the vent is. So, just to give you like
know.
an idea of where.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's right behind the Blaisdell sign.
Okay,
To the
You see
left
it?
of that.
yeah.
Yeah, they put the vent on the sign.
Well, that makes sense to kind of blend it in.
I don't have the expertise really to answer questions like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, sure, as long as we end up with the same number of parking spaces or more, I'm, you know,
Right.
open
Right.
to,
The idea is to gain spaces.
yes,
But also to fix the drainage issue.
and fix the drainage without affecting the abutters.
Right.
But it does seem inevitable it's gonna be a two-part.
Oh, yeah, I mean, once we started getting a lot of information, you know, you can't build anything permanent in the sanitation radius of the wellhead, and you're 14 inches from the property line at the northernmost
Yeah. that's right.
point of the parking lot, and it's a lot for us to have thrown at us when we're not experts in design.
I don't know, in my opinion, I think it makes more sense to have a professional. If it's Steve, that we think Steve can actually
I
look at
think
this and say, this is what you need to do, but I think that makes more sense than us kind of just
Right.
throwing a dart.
I
That's what it
agree,
feels like right
to
now.
get Steve to give us, you know, the skinny, and if he needs to bring somebody else in, that's fine,
Right.
but we should start with Steve because it's in-house.
I mean, we could put a tentative, if you look at the size of the lots, the lower lots didn't have as much curb work that would need to be done. You could probably say that 40,000 for a paving job and 10,000 for a lighting job, and put a place marker of $50,000 down is probably gonna get you pretty close to getting this job done. If we wanna have a warrant article, we can still do the footwork, but have tentative number of $50,000 down. Like if you, right, the total bid for paving is 58.
Yeah.
That lower lot's probably the 18. And then the lighting, I'm assuming you're gonna just split it roughly in half, even if we find some. Most of the time, if you say I got $10,000 to put lights in, you're probably gonna have somebody who's gonna bid you $10,000 to put lights in. It's typically what happens. We never find somebody who magically comes in cheaper. It was coming,
That
what
included light-
money we have.
That included lighting for both lots.
The
20,000.
the 20.
Yeah.
That's money included, right.
So I'm saying if we
You'd be safe with say.
earmark
20.
at 50, and then if anything comes up, that could at least get us to improve what we have, and then we can talk about.
So doing like the right half, the bigger half,
Bigger half, just get some lights, fix the pavement, fix the
like 50.
fix the drainage, all the immediate concerns.
Mhm.
The other thing is kind of an add-on, and even if we get, you know, if we have enough of the reclaimed asphalt and Steve's able to kind of firm it up and at least get that for a year or two so that it's a better rectangular parking space, because it's kind of a weird area, but he's already pushing the overgrowth back and using some fill, we might be able to get a couple of years out of it.
Right, and I mean, even if we did earmark to finish that when doing the parking lot here.
Oh, yeah, because it'd be right around the corner.
Yeah.
Right, right, that's like bringing it, you know, basically to the same site.
Right. They would most likely be parking their equipment either at the highway department or in that lot to do work here. But I'm saying if we wanna at least do something, we could at least put in our, I think, a warrant article for 50 grand.
And we feel confident that that wouldn't get us short. Like, I always,
That's my question. I mean, we're just kind of coming
Yeah.
up with a ballpark number.
Yeah.
Right, I mean,
Wait.
if Steve's doing the prep work, it's gonna actually, should still be higher based on your estimates.
We should have
We should have-
additional,
Right,
yes.
we should have money left over after the 50.
okay.
I mean, if you look at the
Because we're only-
relative scale,
Right.
right, like you said, it's the equipment coming here, and if you look on the bid, it'll probably have so many tons of asphalt that they would put down. So you gotta just say roughly, how many square foot is this parking spot, how many square foot is this, and it's just a,
Well, and that's how I got the numbers a couple of years ago for CIP.
right.
I just had to have something, and
So I think for like the Thursday meeting for the budget committee is coming up with that number based upon this, but I think in the next month, we need to.
Have a real
Yeah.
number.
Yeah, get
Yeah.
a quote, say
That's-
this is what's gonna be done, and Steve, that way they're, I don't know. I
But that allows us to do the rest of the budgeting, if
Right.
you think
I
of something.
think we have more time for discussion on this, because again, what the budget committee is gonna be focusing on Thursday is the operating budget.
Yeah.
We're trying to give them as much as
Yeah.
possible, but I mean, if we have to fine tune that number a little bit more.
Can't imagine it's gonna come in over 50.
Yeah. And it sounds to me like we're fine tuning it down, which is,
Yeah,
And I know you've been trying to meet with Steve, but yeah.
yeah, I mean, and that's no shade,
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
there's
no.
snow. I understand the priority.
It's been wild. And I think Matt's right that you need to make sure the electrician has some kind of suitable terminal
Exactly.
going down to that
Mhm.
other lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
because even if anything, if you put two lots and then you wanna pave a walkway in between, you might want a light or two on that, but I think easily you can.
Yeah.
I think a walkway is manageable if we do a walkway instead of a U shape, just two. We're using it now as two things, so we can, if we make it a really good lower lot as opposed to what it is
Yes.
in the future, but I'm sure we could even finish that up.
Yeah, I think that part of the rationale for doing the lower lot is that when it has been dirt and smaller, it doesn't get plowed and people don't use it when it's got snow or mud and that's when people start parking along the road, which is dangerous.
Or across the street,
Or
you're trying
across
to
the
cross
street,
this
which
way.
makes people irritated. And, we're trying to manage our time and everything else, but we're open fewer hours, so our programming gets condensed. And I will say that we are bleeding onto that lower lot about a third of our open hours. It's, and sometimes multiple times a day, we have a full lot.
And we should truly look at merging that lot into the library lot, because it's like a little teeny lot, and if this drawing is even close to being accurate, the proposed lower lot is half on the library lot and half on
Yes,
the old PD
yes.
lot. So it doesn't make sense. I mean, if you're talking about,
Do we have to do anything for that?
Yeah, we'd still have to go through the process.
Right, but is it just internal or is it,
it's just,
yeah,
It'd just be
should
a
be.
lot merger process through the planning board.
right, it should be pretty simple,
Alright.
sounds like you.
yeah,
Not merger process on the planning board. If only we had a planning board rep to talk to.
yeah, I know. I guess I gotta, that's why I said it should be pretty simple.
But then that would be.
As much as I know.
Get
about
that
planning.
cleaned up before the
Yes.
next part anyway, and then, so I think if we look at this, 50,000, I think should comfortably encompass that job, and if we get numbers, should hopefully be able to shave it down to 43 or 45 or anything
Nice.
like that, but
Right, and I think a lot of that depends on how much Steve can do in-house.
Right.
that and asphalt prices have been
Right,
fluctuating
right.
crazy.
Uh-huh.
They go off,
But I'm concerned.
they go off oil prices,
Yeah.
right? So I mean, they fluctuate a ton right now, we're in a,
Low. Do it
Hey.
now. Trying to time that is going to be, I will say that of the quote that we received, the largest amount was for removing existing pavement and 12 inches of material to allow for 12 inches of new subsurface material to be added. So,
And that was Steve's concern as well. He said definitely to
Yeah.
remove the existing parking lot and start fresh with your subgrade.
Right, but that's a lot of stuff we can do.
Yes.
especially with a new digger.
Yeah.
see, there we go, paying for some.
So we good with starting with the $50,000 and.
For the upper lot.
Yeah.
And then we'll just, whenever you talk to somebody for an electrician for a quote, just make sure, at some point, we're gonna look to the lower lot, let's just make sure we have a separate feed available here to come out later.
Got it.
And that's usually, they'll make sure that the box will have an extra conduit to go out. And then,
Right, and the lighting wouldn't be in the asphalt anyways.
No.
No,
I'd put 2 lights on the head of the parking lot and not worry about that 14 and going down that side.
Okay.
I'd put 2 up there and maybe 2 on the other side where you got plenty of room.
Mhm.
And I think it would illuminate it enough. Possibly, I'm not a lighting expert.
Yeah, see, this is,
I was gonna say,
Well,
you'll be
I mean,
talking to
they're-
the lady.
Yeah,
they're
we're
low
kids.
li- If they're only 8 foot tall poles, that's pretty low. That's really
I think
low.
they're standard.
That's why I was thinking something like the school.
Yeah, well, I
Which
don't
isn't
think they need to be
super-
as high as the school, I mean, I'm just thinking,
it's a much smaller
Only
lot.
60.
Yeah, the school is a huge
they're
lot.
like 10 or 12 feet, once you put them in the concrete posts, I'm thinking about a,
Oh, and that's
A
true,
roof
I'm not
project.
thinking about the concrete posts, so
Right,
maybe
they need
I'm,
to be like at least 12 feet or so, yeah.
I don't know where, the library typically is not open too much during dusk hours, or just in the winter?
dark in the
Yeah,
winter.
till 8 or so,
Well,
it's
Winter
4
is-
hours, it's pitch
yeah.
And
dark,
it-
yeah.
Open till 8? Okay.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
open till a couple of nights a week.
yeah,
So-
so 4 hours at this time of year.
So you need a
Right.
lot
Pretty
on the,
dicey,
I
and
mean,
where the
a
lot's so
light on the
unsafe
corner,
to walk on.
like you said, in the 2 up here, like right at
I think if
down
you
here.
put lighting, and it's, there are, I don't know if there's concrete regulations, but I know like when you do stuff, there's reason why there are so many lots, like, if you look at every parking lot, like a Walmart or whatever, they're all kind of spaced the same
Yeah.
way.
It's
And-
a lumens
How
Correct.
far,
circle
yeah,
of
yeah.
lumens or something.
So I don't feel like we need to spend time
No,
worrying about the
no.
lighting right now, yeah. We can move along.
As always, I remain open and accessible for any questions that come up, let me know. And I will take all of this information back, we have a trustee meeting next Tuesday. And let them know what we have discussed, assuming they are not sitting at home watching me right now.
The thing is, if we can make it affordable, there's a bigger chance of it passing than making it.
I completely understand.
That's
I
my
just-
feeling
I
anyway.
just don't wanna give the impression that I speak for others who have not authorized me to say and make commitments.
Thank you for
My,
your work.
my
on
little
this.
asterisk.
Thank you for coming in.
You are
Yep,
very
thank you.
welcome,
And thank you for all your
Thank you.
baking.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm always happy to help your Scottish tea.
So then on to paving.
Good to see you again.
So this is hot off the press, it just came in at about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Steve had identified 3 projects of focus for paving. The first be to address the section of Smoke Street that had also delamination issues. Obviously, we have the new subdivision, so the concern was to not pave and still have a lot of the heavy equipment running over the road, but he did come up with 2,800 and, or what was it, 31,900 square yards. Paving,
Just in general?
Smoke Street,
Oh, what street?
smoke.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
So that project came in at $294,898.75. The second was to pave a section of Ledge Farm Road. And then the third was reintroducing the paving of all the dirt approaches onto paved roads, which helps with their grading. That was proposed in 25 and then removed.
Yeah, that like really saves a lot of grading time because the ends of the roads get all beat up from the stop and goes.
Well, it should it inherently make like even motorcycle travel and stuff safer, cause like
You're not
Grease
looking
roads are
at-
worse, it's got like gravel in the road,
Right.
if you're not,
Yeah,
if you're not paying attention in this area. But
I did write the total on one of your sheets. I think it was 600,000 and change.
600, 700, 7,035.
You got the tricky sheet.
I got the trick this year.
What was the total again, Charlotte?
600, 735, and 25 cents.
That's if you moved forward with all 3 projects.
Oh, I
Not
see.
gonna happen.
huh?
No. I mean,
Oh, I see the multiple aprons, okay.
Yeah, it's 3 separate jobs.
Right, yeah, so it's like, would be,
Oh, yeah, I was looking at the
3.
17,000, that's not bad.
And which section of Ledge Farm is this going,
So it's like
continuing
600.
on from where it's paid now?
I believe so,
That's what he said.
just that distance,
Yeah.
So I wanna say back in 21, 22 or so, there was some engineering and design work done for Ledge Farm in general.
So it'd probably bring it down to Poor Farm.
That's one of the things that Steve identified as being high priority, right?
It's so high travel, and if you look on the classification of roads, that's our only dirt, not class, is it class 1 for us? There was a priority for, what is it?
Oh, are you talking about on the maintenance plan?
Yeah. And they said like all the other ones are supposed to get super whatever, but then we have this one dirt road that's our high tier road, which is Ledge Farm, because, and especially now, people use it as their cut through to get through to Epping.
Right.
But
Yeah, I would say doing Ledge Farm and the aprons, or trying to do those two projects.
Right, if we did those two projects, that's basically the same as,
Close to what we,
295,
basically 86. what we
that almost
spent
halves
this year.
it.
Well,
So-
and that's what we,
and Smoke Street itself, you know, it's like those two equal that.
and then
I
maybe
mean,
you put
that's a-
Smoke Street to 2027.
After stuff is.
24, 2.
Well, it'd be nice if some of that construction was done in that new development.
Right,
Yeah.
So
I-
you
Yeah,
you
keep it
newly
over,
paved the
yeah.
road, and then all of a
Right.
sudden you get,
right, I would suggest we wait on that till after
It's a
construction
no-brainer,
is.
yeah, and then it adds the,
they do it in weird square yards, correct? But do we know how?
I don't know, why not miles?
Because the roads are different widths.
Correct, I get that, but
So-
for us, for my brain, is
So
that
for like-
roughly all of Smoke Street from where we paved before? Or,
So it's 24,000 feet times 2 lane miles is what they have for shoulder gravel, so you've gotta figure that's about,
alright, so it's roughly 24,000 feet,
which there's how many feet in a mile?
6,000.
6,000.
5,280, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Added a few feet in there.
So about 4 miles, plus or minus.
I mean, there's a few spots in there that are whatever, but they did a pretty good job taking care of the bad stuff last year on
Right.
Smoke Street.
Yeah, it's not bad now. I don't know what it'll look like
Yeah,
in
they
spring.
did, from the Kelsey McCrillis Mill Pond corner up, that hill was. What did we roughly have tacked in there for roads?
We didn't have anything.
We didn't, we left it open.
But this would be similar to what last year was 286.
Yeah,
282. Yeah, so it's about 4.5, just over 4.5 miles. Is that right?
So this comes in at what, 305, 836 for the two?
something like that. If I only had a calculator in front of me.
305, 836.50,
Two.
the aprons and
Yeah.
Ledge Farm.
6, no. If we just do those two.
Right.
Yeah, I think I would do from the up and town line on Priest Road, but I don't know that it's been engineered to. Most of your traffic is coming out of Francesca.
Oh, yeah, cutting that way.
The amount of traffic you're getting from Poor Farm up to the square is probably not even half of the traffic going the other direction from Poor Farm to the
You think
town
so?
line.
We could put one of those car counters down. Somebody said that
I think our speed sign does it, because we put it up at the
really?
recycling center a couple of years ago just to do the traffic counts.
So that'd be interesting
It
to
probably
see.
would be a bad road to see if
right,
the police would put it on.
yeah,
Trouble is runoff is probably, you probably got a lot of engineering to do. Closer you get to that thing.
right.
So can you find out which, I don't think it was down there when
I
they
don't
did the
think it was.
engineering. In 2021-22. I thought it was the other stretch, yeah,
Cause you got both sides of the roads, the fields are up here and the roads down here.
right.
Get 2 to 4 feet of difference in elevation.
Ledge Farm Road,
Poor Farm comes out onto it. Yeah.
so do we wanna put a placeholder 305-837 in for road reconstruction for now? Get clarification from Steve as far as which
Do
portion
we
to
just
use?
wanna do a flat 300 and then we absorb the 5?
Or I was gonna say like, yeah, at least
$299,
not make it
$99.
37, like make it like,
Yeah, I'm just using the numbers that we're talking about.
No, I
here.
know, but sometimes we have a little bit of, people get it,
305, 840 or 850.
Hey, I didn't put the cents in.
305, 850.
I was gonna put the cents in.
Yeah, don't put this,
Oh, put the 25
put
cents.
305, 850 or
I
something.
just put 300,000.
300.
We absorbed the $6,000 in the budget.
Well, I guess it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
cause we still have
It's
the,
still,
So overall,
right.
but we still have a shim, whatever, coat
Shim seal.
line. I don't know if it has anything in it.
I think I just plugged the same figure from last year, it was 30,000.
We can add 6,000 to that.
You don't need to add 6,000, I mean.
Add 6,000 to that.
I said, which end of Ledge Farm? He said the dirt.
That hurts.
Yeah, there you go.
That's not all the dirt side.
And it's approximately a third of a mile.
God. It's gonna take forever to get there.
Little pieces.
Alright, this might be a troublesome spot that isn't there one spot on there that's more mushy and troublesome because of the way the trees kinda. I don't travel it enough,
No.
Yeah, worst part is from Poor Farm down to the Buxton properties.
I don't know which one that is, but if you come out that way, I guess I could figure it out.
Isn't there like a,
Second,
Skinny
once you go
section
past
too or
Poor
something
Farm,
that's-
the second house on the right, from Poor Farm to that house, it gets real mushy in that.
and that's like almost in Epping, right?
It's not far from the
Getting
town line.
close, yeah.
But why does it get mushy? Cause there probably isn't enough drainage.
Right.
How do you get the drainage in?
Or it gets a ton of sun, thaws out early.
So we'll leave it at $300,000 for the road reconstruction.
Sure.
Ledge Farm
Sure.
and the aprons would be the
Right.
focus of the project, and then potentially 2027-28. You look at.
I think we should even fine tune some of the aprons. I don't think we need to do all the aprons. We need to do aprons that are on. Priest Road's gonna be a big one that we
Right.
need
Right.
to do because
We wanna go
of that
past.
bridge repair. It's gonna be a hell of a lot more traffic on that.
Oh, that's
And
right.
that apron needs to get done past the the fire station, entry,
It'd be
That's
nice.
Priest Road.
That's,
That's
yeah,
a priest
it's-
road.
Yeah.
right?
The other one that creates a lot of problem is Dolph Dam.
That's not even on here.
That's a big
Yes, it
apron.
is, it's
It's a big
the,
apron.
Off of 156.
right, it's the.
Multiple
right.
aprons.
Second to last.
Okay,
Oh,
he's
Yeah,
just
that's the one
gonna,
that comes out and there's a stop
After
sign
every
right in the middle of
rainstorm,
it.
the gravel runs into the road and
Yeah, cause it's on a hill there.
South Summer Street, that one, they pull out a lot of garish, trying to think where the dirt is.
And Steve agrees with the priority of ledge farm over smoke.
Guy who,
I mean, they all come out onto major roads.
yeah, well, one side of Giles on 152, the other side's on
Right.
McCribble's. South Summer, Priest, Guile, those are all. What am I thinking of on Garish? Smoke,
I don't know what he's talking about on Garish.
Cause one ends over on,
and the same thing with Smoke Street, I don't think it's Smoke Street, shouldn't that be Kennard? Comes out onto Smoke Street, so maybe that's his
Out of
reference.
Mitchell. Looked at the T.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that's just what he means, well, it says parks, I don't know. So what comes out onto Garish? That's pretty. Does it just need to be fixed? Garish
Like, I
is all
wonder if-
paved, right?
I wonder if smoke is Mitchell
Is it-
and,
I think part of it's not paved, is that right?
What's
I
that?
don't remember, Garish.
Which one?
Garish?
Is part of Garish not paved? I get confused.
but it, the end that comes on to 152.
Are we talking about Kennard though?
That's right, I think the Smoke Street might be the intersection of Kennard and Mitchell,
Okay,
right? Cause those are the two dirt roads that come on to Smoke.
yeah,
You only two dirt roads.
right, at that one,
So that's what I'm thinking that one is.
it just, the other ones say like multiple or
Right.
something like that.
Right,
So then I was trying to approximate to Garish, Smoke Street. Okay. I don't know any off the mountain road.
But I mean, we can get that fine tuned.
Right,
As the year goes through and.
If you look at the square yard, it's like.
Find in there, boss. Anything?
They don't say whether they're. I'm just trying to remember, but,
Which road's a which?
right. I don't
And then they
travel every
move
day.
all the way over to Cooper Hill and go, I'll do those ones way over there too. I'm wondering if like you trim that down a little bit, like
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about the Cooper Hill ones. It's not a
major road,
major road. So you gotta bring the grader out into the,
maybe Mountain Road, the same thing, those are these, I don't know.
well, you've already done the apron, well, we didn't do the apron, the homeowner did the apron on
Saks.
Saks.
yeah.
Right.
Ridge Road is done, so the only
I
other
don't know
one
how
you
much
got.
So, well, right, and then the other ones are actually not in Nottingham.
Well, that's right, Mindle Road is
Mindle's,
a Raymond issue, we
Is a Raymond
shouldn't be
issue.
doing that.
sorry.
so we can't
No
do,
doubt
there's
we'll-
nothing to do on Mountain Road other than.
Saks Road is the only other one.
No,
That's done.
Beachhead. Beachhead's
Yeah.
not done, and Saks Road is already done, so it would be Beachhead would be the only one.
Jim's a trail
Jamsa.
stuff.
But the beginning of Jams is technically,
Right, the beginning of Jams is in Raymond. So we can't do that.
Shouldn't.
We shouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it.
And it's not a major route, it's
Right.
not, no big deal to bring the grader out,
Beachhead's not
turn
hard
around.
as far as that,
The amount
yeah,
of
that one's
traffic
not
on
that
it,
horrible, huh?
the amount of traffic on it.
No, and it's, nobody's like peeling out where the roads that touch 156, everybody's hitting the gas really hard on those because the traffic's faster.
So my quick napkin math, if we cut the mountain roads off and Cooper Hill off, it takes $68,000 off of this bid.
Right.
Right, cause he's got the square yards for each one. Oh, that one says approximately $12.50, I did the 250 times 5, 6 cents. So you do the square yards there, and then up in the top, they tell you how much per square yard it is. And then same thing for the tons, they have approximate tons there, but
Right. But is the Priest Road, is there enough in there to do to do all the way to the driveway? It's hard to know.
I think he did cover,
I know we
that-
talked about that.
yeah. I
but-
mean, he wanted to get a wider span of that too, especially where it's most likely gonna be the detour when they do the bridge.
Right.
right, or
But I wouldn't, this quote of 360 square yards.
Seems kind of small.
That's small,
Seems
that
small.
can't include to the.
Yeah, that seems like it might not be, so I think,
I would at least cut Mountain, cut Cooper, and do Priest to the thing and see if we could
Right.
reschedule that.
yes, exactly.
300 should
Leave the
cover us,
300 to
and we
cover
should
it.
be able to drop it down to probably when he's done figuring this out to like 250. If we're taking 68 off it. Again, I'm doing napkin math right now.
The 300 should cover us to do what we really think we should do.
And that can always change, but.
Was
What
that
part
Tim?
would change?
It, I mean, as far as, you know, what we're outlining for the project, cause.
Right, yeah.
But I think 250 is a better number
Right,
to come
and then
at, to come forward with anyway.
and prices are gonna change anyway,
Well,
like
no,
they did this year.
But weren't you saying if you take Mountain Road, Cooper Hill Road out, but then increase Priest?
Priest.
So those might kind of offset each other. I
It
don't know if you can say
might, but I
overall.
don't know if it's going, alright, so like
Might not be that much though.
Right,
maybe 275 is whenever we come back, roughly.
cause that's total
275.
500. Although, yeah, the Mountain Road says 5 aprons.
5 apron, 1,250 square yards.
But like you said, they must have
yeah.
counted the
Right.
ones that are in Raymond.
Right, they must have, because there's,
They probably just started driving up the road.
yeah,
1, 2,
Yeah,
3.
we pave this one, we grade this one, we grade that one,
Yeah.
we grade that
yeah,
one.
That's a driveway.
Yeah, so do you think maybe Steve could get an updated quote for,
yeah,
Doing
because it's
up
really
to-
just one apron on Mountain Road, really should be the only, yeah.
And then at that point, the effort. to-
Lakeview's paved. Lakeview's paved.
Lakeview's paved, so, I mean,
Ooh.
technically, you would have, so you'd have beachhead apron,
And jam
and then, Lookout Point off of Lakeview, but
Yeah, no. you
you're
can't
not gonna
count
do that
No.
apron, because,
that. Not even an apron,
right, if you did that apron, you might as well do the whole thing.
it's a driveway.
Yeah, well, actually, it should have just been done when they did the road, instead of doing the piece of the road.
So all the things off 156 must be lake roads, the Ware, right? Dolph Dam,
Golf Dam, probably Byderry,
Siemens
Whites
Point.
Grove,
yeah,
Right.
White Road.
Siemens Point.
Which those would be good to, so
Right.
those I think make sense. Anything off 152 or 156, we definitely should.
Yes, those,
Island Ave.
yeah, because
Make longer and cut
yeah,
the.
Highland's got 2 axes, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And then we just want clarification that the Smoke Street one,
Island or whatever the other new name is.
Those were paved though.
Bar Dairy, White's Grove.
we just want a clarification that the Smoke Street one is technically that intersection, like he means
Mitchell.
Kennard and Mitchell.
And we're getting rid of Cooper Hill?
I think we should get rid of Cooper Hill, get rid of Mountain Road,
Yeah,
and try to extend Priest out a little bit. And, you know, again, the Guile one, I think the 152 end is important, the Mitchell end not as much if they don't.
right.
We need to start doing more paving than we've been doing. I don't know how we get that done, but
No, I agree, we do.
We need to-
We've neglected paving a lot.
getting
So if I just
pretty
use a
much caught
measure
up, and then
tool
we went,
from the edge of 152 to the rear property line that the fire station's on, it's 410 feet.
Okay,
well, we don't need to go to the property
Only
line,
50
just,
Right,
we
well-
just went to the gate.
I know,
You
but
need to
just,
get to the drive, end of, the far
the
end of the
property line's
driveway.
probably 6 feet past, it's
Right,
probably.
it's not much past it,
Right,
Then the school takes over.
yes,
it was the schools anyway, right, it was a
yes,
transfer from the school to the town,
yes,
which is the.
yes. That's all. The answer keeps being yes.
Right. Tim's doing finer back in that.
Maybe we should do another transfer. Gonna put a PD in, it might be,
See what it comes out with that. There should be enough property.
Stick it there on the unused side.
So
Common well.
combined, you're talking, it's about $66,000 between those two projects.
Yes,
Between Cooper and Mountain Road.
I
Yeah.
had,
Doing that.
when I done over here, I had doubled it up as 15, cause I saw, for some reason, I thought they were the same, there's a few less feet there, so. Or square yards, excuse me. But I think 300's a placeholder, and hopefully we can cut that down just a little bit.
Right,
okay, so we're doing 300, not 306.
Correct.
we'll do 300.
We'll just absorb the 6 somewhere.
Multiple.
yeah, a whole bunch of them.
Portion of Ledge Farm Road and then a bunch of the
Just say
aprons
aprons.
from dirt roads going onto main paved roads.
Alright, so we good with that?
Yep.
You wanna go over your proposal?
This is Steve's proposal. Also hot off the press today. There was a spec sheet that's included at the end from Donovan Equipment. That's just it's more of a detail of
Extras,
extras, but they're built into the full proposal, which I think you have to get to like page 17 before you get to the bottom line. No, it's not that far, it's 11.
So what we're reviewing is the quote for a Mack truck for the roll top dumpsters at the recycling center.
Correct.
So that we could potentially
Call our own.
haul our own to save on the costs.
And the way that Steve has it factored is that it could also be used as a additional plow in the winter.
Oh.
So all in all, this is something that I would like to put off to Katrin to see if maybe we could potentially dive
Use
into
those
that
funds.
grant program.
Yeah. Is that the
Yeah,
Volkswagen?
if you can
Yeah.
make that number 80% smaller,
Yes.
that's awesome.
That'd be nice, yeah.
yeah.
But I think having dual purpose for both the hauling for the recycling containers and
Right, give
being
us a-
used in the,
I talked to Steve earlier today, he said that there's even potential that, I think somewhere out there in Raymond, they heard that we were looking into do this, and they might actually look to hire us
Oh,
to haul Raymond stuff that, I don't know how
I
that
don't think it
really
was Raymond,
works.
I think it was Deerfield.
Sure.
That would make more sense.
So I guess my question would be, you know, if we can definitely look into entertaining that, is looking at what the I guess what the cost savings will be in tipping fees and hauling costs. Plus, I would think we're gonna have to hire somebody potentially part-time to, so an additional position to do that work.
But it's a very complex proposal, because then you get into, if we have an additional plow truck, we're then not hiring an additional plow truck in the winter time, so
Right,
it takes a number off.
Right.
Right.
Right,
Yeah,
so,
it would
yeah,
eliminate his
there's-
part-time seasonal position.
This is a complex proposal.
But I think it's a good one for the town, and if that
Oh,
proposal
8%,
exists and
yeah.
they make this thing way cheaper, then that makes the math.
Which is just a lot of math to, we're just gonna make sure we
Yeah.
get,
Right.
cover all of our bases.
If we go to that line item, show that everybody knows the total truck and all of the goodies.
Page 11.
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
Shows a total bid price of $385,000, and we'll call it $400. And that would, which is a lot, but that's roughly 1 year's worth, but that's not just a tipping fee, so that's
No,
that's everything
you have
that
to
is
pay to get
supposed-
rid of it too.
Yeah.
But
Right, but
What is-
over the cost of a couple of years, you know,
Right.
it's like,
we just need to break those numbers, and I'm sure an RA could break those costs down.
Yeah.
Or New Hampshire Recycles.
But you're essentially, if that 80-20 thing exists, you're looking at only 77,000.
right, but I thought some of that was, or most, the 80 wasn't that replacement, or not new? I don't know, I'm confused. That was for
Oh, I
new?
think it was for.
Yes, for new.
Some
I
people
know that there
were,
was, I know
could
that
be
there
for
were different
electric
amounts for
vehicles as
new
well.
versus replacement.
there was something about taking and replacing extra trucks, which I think we have one that's probably dying enough that we might even be able to do that. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
potentially,
Yes,
Like
that's
you.
true.
if we can get that number back. But how would we proceed to at least have the budget committee take a look with us, or where do we put? any-
This wouldn't be for Thursday.
No, they're, like I said, they're only gonna be focusing on the operating budget. And they're, so hopefully if I can give them as much of the big picture as I can, then they're not going to look at a potential increase on the operating budget and say, oh, okay, we need to trim $100,000 because technically we might be saving it on the warrant article side, so. But I mean, like, if I was just to run rough figures, if we have 4 to 5 cans being hauled a week between like steel, or your scrap metals, your tin cans, your paper, your bulky, your construction debris, let's say 5 cans, 52 weeks a year. I mean, that's $85,000 in hauling costs right there.
And there's usually 2 bulky waste tins that need to go. The tin cans, I think, don't go as often, but bulky waste and
It's always
Somebody-
2 bulky and 1 C&D weekly, and then
Yeah.
it's paper, clean wood.
would this take care of the household trash compactors?
That's part of the waste management contract.
Okay. And then even if we were to entertain Deerfield, excuse me, can we enter into
We
contracts?
can enter into an intergovernmental agreement, absolutely.
So then we would potentially be looking to, potentially that could offset
That could
even-
offset the cost of your operator.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
But then you probably have to buy the cans too.
Yes, so that is one of the larger missing elements. We can rent them, but again, you know,
They're not that
they're not that expensive.
expensive.
I mean, you try it out for 1 year, and the next year, we're like, hey, we bought this, now we're gonna buy our own.
Right,
Right,
But
do it in steps.
if she at all can make that number,
Happen.
Right.
that is incredible that she even showed up with that. That would be amazing, so.
Well, and the long-term savings for the town, for
right.
a fraction of what you're paying, I mean, that's incredible.
Correct.
Alright.
So I will get that forwarded off to her for review and comment. And yes, Katrin Casper.
Yep.
From our Seacoast Energy Rider.
So do we wanna take another peek at the operating budget?
Sorry.
I could-
Did
Thank
we
you for
put a
being
number-
honest.
I did update your, the year-to-date expenditures in that second column. The only thing that is missing from there is the last payroll that was just run. Those haven't been posted yet, so.
Did I miss any, did we put a number for the building maintenance reserve warrant?
Yeah, we haven't put one in there for
No.
that.
And what do you have left, Tim, if anything?
I think I calculated it out to be about $46,000. We still have that.
Yeah, that's what you had said at the last meeting. $35,000, cause it was a
Because we had to pull the
$11,000.
we had to pull the 11,000 out for the library's new
Yeah,
furnace.
so 35.
No, not what's left in it. What is left available to make that for the 4%? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
$267,000.
okay. Even when you put in the 300,000 for roads?
Yeah, cause we started at like 540.
Why is mine not having that? Oh, okay. I was looking at. Okay. Thank you. I was looking at the wrong line.
So we obviously know that we have the HVAC that we can also have Catherine look at for additional options.
Right, no, that would be great.
So there's some potential there. The preliminary quotes that we got for here in the library were excessive. I mean, I was thinking about completely depleting that fund with going with those quotes, so. I think that's another area that we have to look at, but we should add something to it for next major. I mean, we've had some issues with the waste oil furnace up at the recycling center, so we might have to do something there. We definitely need to add insulation into that garage bay that was removed when they did the new furnace up there. But that comes with more than just insulation. We have to be able to put some type of sheathing to protect the insulation too, so that's an expenditure. I'm just trying to think of like some of the long-term projects, the facilities committee just coming back into the game. You know, it would be nice
We haven't
to
even looked at that.
have some funds, right, to have some funds to work with to continue to bring some of these projects to fruition.
That wall too.
The wall
Yes.
and, right, the detached wall.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're just talking about one
From
facility.
And
Right, I know.
from the plow, not the plow, the.
Oh,
That's an
And
easy.
eventually,
That's
I
an
mean,
easy fix, yeah.
hopefully the facilities committee, but also the future board of selectmen can talk about what we wanna do back here.
Right.
You've got a huge
There's
space.
huge space back there that facilities
Hopefully
committee will look
before-
at.
That could be a
it.
huge indoor
The-
gym.
Right, before the end of
Committee
the
will look at
year,
it at some point.
we're gonna have the utility closet closed in and then an additional closet off to the side, just kind of enclosed for all the election supply to go into. So that's gonna be happening, but it's probably gonna carry a little bit further into the first of the year.
Okay.
But outside of that, it's just a matter of open space, what to do.
So I would say maybe 65,000 to bring it to $100,000 mark, which is where it was 2 years ago.
Just to
And then we-
put in there, yeah.
Right, and then we brought it back up to 90 or 85 last year, the balance.
Where was it?
Oh, no, we didn't.
The library. I think we brought it up to, it was like to 105.
Did we bring it that high last year?
We must have started pretty high, cause we only did $18,000.
Yeah, we did start pretty high, but
Well, I think we started high because we had allocated a separate warrant
Right.
article for the 50,000 for the demolition out back, and we talked about potentially adding more into that fund to do something out
Right.
there, but we're not at that stage, at least not for the next year.
So we comfortable kind of
So like
thinking about
65?
65 for right now?
that's, seems reasonable, I think.
How much?
65,000
$55,000.
We'll figure what?
into the building maintenance expendable trust fund.
And then we can kind of come back to those numbers as we go through
Right.
the operating budget. So I think the first item I would like to have us consider adding back in is merit compensation.
No, I agree, that. I
I think our
don't,
budget needs to include.
right,
given
I
our
don't think we
paying
should,
the
yeah,
employees.
I think it was a mistake for us to pull it.
We didn't.
Well, we just kind of started, that's where we
Yeah.
started.
Yeah, we zeroed it out for
Right.
discussion purposes to see what was left at the end. So with that being said, that also affects line 147. The police department had already calculated theirs in separately.
So
What do you mean?
I would propose that we just put it all in that one item, leave it that way, and we work out of it the way we're supposed to. Don't let the PD determine their own stuff.
You're gonna get pulled over tonight.
Why is that?
Because it just makes sense to have it in one bucket and then we can allocate it as it should be allocated.
Which line was that, Ellen?
147.
It's in yellow.
So the department proposed request was 691, 142. I had moved it back to the 664, 563, which was the 2025 approved. It's like 26,000 and change. Or not quite 26,000.
So the idea that we would put that in much larger merit pool.
$26,579.
How much will we add into the merit compensation?
The total 56,579.
56? Okay.
And then, Steve, you weren't at the last meeting, but we did talk, do we want to do a warrant article for Beachgate attendant, or want to put it in the operating budget?
How many warrants do we have right now? I think that's what wears people out too. I mean, if it's just a budget to budget and it's within, and it's well within our means and everything isn't crazy, people will be like, okay. But if it's like,
Oh, we did have it,
We did.
yeah, 26,208.
okay,
I'm sorry.
so we have
In budget, or,
one,
No,
two,
it's
three,
Yeah, it's a
warrant article.
warrant article.
I thought we talked about doing it as a warrant, I believe.
9, 10, 11.
So,
We're
okay,
at
so it
12
is-
right now.
So it's one of the warrants,
It is.
okay. And we talked about doing it as a warrant just so that people, for awareness.
Right, could vote on that one item, because it looks like you're increasing the rec budget by
Right.
quite a bit.
Right.
Nobody looks at that when they go to vote though. So you see the total.
His last year, deliberative.
Few people.
But if it doesn't pass, what does that mean?
That means there's no beach attendance.
There's no beach attendant.
But will the owners still allow us to use the trail?
That would have to be seen, but it probably is not likely.
No, I wouldn't think so.
That is a danger of doing of putting things on for a no means no. Type thing.
Yeah, and will people, is it an all or nothing, and will people understand that? I don't have the answer.
If we knew all the answers,
I
we wouldn't
certainly
be
do
sitting
not.
here.
So
If I knew all the answers, I'd be living large
I
someplace.
think and Ellen did a good job last year putting together a document, sort of
Yeah.
explaining everything. The quicker we can get that together.
Yeah.
I think last year this year you've done a much better job keeping us on task, and getting us
Yeah.
ahead of the game on this. I mean,
Yeah, we have
We're
a lot
about a
more
month ahead of where
information
we were
now,
last year.
exactly. And that was the intention, so I'm glad that we're staying on track.
yeah.
we won't see the finished capital article.
It will be a warrant article.
Thank you.
What about the fire department?
We've already increased it back to 8.
Okay,
So other lines, looking at one,
must have.
looking at 78.
Yes.
Does that need to get bumped back?
No, actually, I ran preliminary figures this afternoon. I don't think, no, they did not print out on here. I think the original estimate, so the police department and the fire department, part of the New Hampshire retirement, they do not have social security withholding. And I think that figure has always been inflated to include those wages, so when I backed them out and just did the Medicare portion, I think it was a more realistic budget figure that was plugged in when we amended it on the 17th of November.
Okay. I just see, there's a couple that say removed merit, but now we're
Yeah.
making sure we're keeping track and having the right number.
But even the total merit number would be about $4,000 in FICA.
So,
But if actually, it wouldn't be that much because you're saying the police department doesn't pay the social security portion.
correct.
Or the fire department.
So I think between the two of them, I had calculated, I plugged the merit compensation back in there. I figured it was gonna be like just over just over 111,000 for both. So we're at 113,850. So it's pretty close. It's about $2,000 off.
2160 is exactly the number I can,
Look
yeah,
at that.
good work.
And then where are we coming in roughly year to date? Not year, I see the line item here. Like, are there any of these things that we wanna look to propose to be, or do we need to get our unassigned fund balance higher?
As far as funding something potentially. for
Yeah,
unassigned
this
fund
is like
balance,
5 million, whatever we approved, we're
I
at
have that
4.7.
discussion scheduled with the department heads tomorrow, based on like what's left remaining in this budget. Is that what you're talking about?
That, and if there was something, you know, it either goes to the unassigned fund balance, it doesn't seem like we're very close on anything, we're not actually hitting the tax cap, which is great, so. But if something like, you say the beach attendant comes from an assigned fund balance, so there's no tax increase, it's easy to say yes on that if you wanna take that $26,000 type of thing, instead of saying, this is gonna be taxed, or whatever.
So our retainage percentage as of the time of the tax rate setting was 11.17. Our internal fund balance policy strives for that 12% mark, which is right in the middle. So
What does it take to get us back to 12, like whatever, I don't know what that,
what that
I
amount
think it would
is.
be.
yeah.
Well, that's not very much.
It's
No, it's like-
1.5% of the operating budget.
Yep.
So $50,000.
I was gonna say probably like 85 or so, 85 or so thousand
Which is
returned.
back to 12, so like, if we just have those numbers, there's that, then there's gonna be this, then we can do that, or if this magic truck comes to fruition or something like that, we can, I just wanna have those, know what that number is, that way we can propose something, but it doesn't put us over a tax cap, because we're able to use unassigned fund balance while maintaining our 12%.
The other thing is, did we wanna talk about or do you, I don't know if you have the numbers together, but we can do it in another meeting, is the state pension for full-time employees.
Yes, I don't.
I should have emailed you prior, sorry.
No, it's okay. I know I had calculated them out at one point.
That was a big number.
Well, I mean, it's,
Well, you
It-
offset it by
it's
the
potent-
457.
right. It is offset by the 457, so it's technically a staggered transition because you're gonna have some employees that it does not make sense for them to roll into the New Hampshire retirement. I mean, we're only talking the full-time rec staff, the town office staff, the highway department, and the administrative assistant in the police department, because police and fire are already enrolled. So those are your only other full-time eligible positions that would be group one. So if you have somebody that's already investing in the 457B and they're not gonna make 20 years to become vested in the New Hampshire retirement system, it doesn't make sense for them to roll. So because we're already contributing on their behalf, they can remain where they are, but when that person leaves the position, it's mandatory enrollment. So I mean, like, we almost have to do a survey of current staff and say, hey, like, if this is offered to you as a town employee, would you stay status quo or would you move to the New Hampshire retirement system? To really get a realistic number. So I'm thinking like first year, even second year impact wouldn't be as much as everybody all in at once. It's just thinking about what that impact is going to be when all of those transition to a mandatory requirement.
Is that a survey you'd be comfortable doing sooner than later?
Absolutely.
so that
I
we
have
can-
my department head meeting tomorrow, so
Okay.
that's a good time to ask it.
I mean, it seemed like you're only talking about 10-ish people,
Yes.
so.
But it's the,
14, was it
It's the-
12% of their pay?
what's that?
Is it 12%
Yeah,
of
it's
their pay?
11.77% of the employees' pay, and then we're doing a 6% matching contribution to the 457B. You're talking about going from that 6% up to I think it was 24 and change percent, so. It's not only a buy-in from the town, it's a buy-in from the employee too.
That's what I said.
And it's
It's
to
a
their
big-
benefit,
What, a
but
24%? I thought you said 12%, 11.7 was the town's contribution.
yes. and
She's splitting the 24.
No,
No.
no, you're right, Tim. You're right, Tim. Yeah. I'm thinking
So
that,
we're
I'm
off
thinking the
six.
group two rates.
It's a 6% to 12%?
Yes.
Okay, so that's not as big. And I think maybe that's what I read was the 6% to the 24 at some point and it's like, that's a big number.
Right. Not everybody's gonna jump
Right.
because
But 6 to 12.
it takes X amount of years to be vested, and then if you got that kind of
But I
time.
think it would give us a great opportunity to be able to recruit.
Right, it would
people.
definitely help with recruiting and maintaining,
Right.
so.
We've missed some great opportunities,
The other thing that
some
we
qualified employment.
we still need to fine tune, I know we've got the numbers in there, but it's talking about the tax collector position.
Mhm.
Town clerk.
Yeah, that's.
So if you were looking to move to an appointed position for the tax collector, that would be something that would be voted in this year. It wouldn't go into effect until 2027, so that's another one that, you know, you'd have some transition time to
Yeah.
plan. But if it became a dual role, then
Right, and if we're going to put that in as a warrant article, we need to do it.
yes. So those are like your
Because we
non-monetary
know that-
considerations that we have to consider now.
We know that the current tax collector is not rerunning,
Correct.
so we don't know what, if anybody is running or not.
And, you know, worst case scenario, if things stay the way that they are and we don't have anybody that puts their name on, then it's up to you to appoint somebody.
Right, it's up to us to appoint somebody anyway. So I guess it's not all bad. It's the same. If we don't do anything, it's the same thing.
So you might as well get out there and start promoting for
Beat
it
the
now.
bushes, right?
Do you have
Set
any
the
interest?
traps.
So then I do that, right? If you don't have the tax collector, you guys appoint.
Yes, the select board has a responsibility to appoint until the next election.
Anything else we have to cover? Got several sick people at home.
Do you feel
Getting them in.
Comfortable for Thursday's meeting, Ellen and Charlotte?
I feel comfortable as long as Ellen's.
I think you lost your laryngitis.
I think I will by Thursday, yeah, I've lost it.
Or regained
now.
it. She
You've
goes,
already
Regained
lost,
it, yeah.
you've
she just
lost your
gets into her car and
laryngitis
starts
now,
screaming.
so.
Yeah, I'll do my worst, yeah.
I think giving them the big picture as it is right now will take off some of the focal point here. I do. I think the few areas that have been trimmed were necessary and justified, explainable,
Right.
however you wanna look at it. And again, I mean, like, what's being proposed is the bare minimum that we can in order to still carry
General
out the.
assistance?
Yep, so that's the $5,000,
We're
we're
doing the
just, we're
warrant
moving
article.
it from the operating.
Okay,
into the
Right, right,
moved
warrant.
it into a warrant.
And we're gonna,
Into
well,
a-
we're gonna create an expendable trust fund, so once we put the money in there,
You're not raising and appropriating money, you're potentially not spending
Okay.
year after year.
Right,
We'll just
and
go.
then I
like
can
that.
just,
yeah.
Cause this year we
That's
spent close to
great.
$10,000.
but then we can get a little bit in there, and then if something happens, we're great, like
Good.
crazy.
Yes. The general assistance, so that $5,000 that we normally put in the operating budget, we're gonna put it into an expendable trust fund, so if we don't use it, we can just continue to build it for when the need does present itself, to create that expendable trust fund.
Right, cause it stinks in a year where you gotta spend 10,000 and the
You
other,
only budgeted 5?
right, you only budgeted 5 and the previous year you budgeted 5 and you spent
Nothing.
a couple
Nothing,
$100.
yeah.
So we're-
This is unusual this past year.
General assistance,
Well, if you feel comfortable with what we have so far, and I think we can continue to fine tune some of the numbers in the operating budget and the warrant articles in the coming meetings. But thank you, Ellen, for keeping us on task.
thank you for extra
And hopefully it
meetings, that was
doesn't-
helpful.
Well, I think that just going into January feeling a little bit more prepared is always
Oh my
nice.
gosh, yeah.
And then maybe the budget committee will treat you nice and not keep you for 4.5 hours on Thursday.
We haven't seen it yet.
It's been good.
Well, at least at the beginning of the grade, how many you were in it, all 5 years?
Yep.
Well, it seems reminded me 5 times already, I missed it.
Sometimes.
We just couldn't keep Charlotte.
So do we have a motion to adjourn our meeting? Do we have non-public?
No?
No, okay.
I will
I'll make-
move to adjourn.
Alright, I'll say it.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
There's that check.
Thanks everyone for coming out on an extra December meeting.